My name is Johnny Hernandez. I see a lot of familiar faces, and so for those of you who I have not yet met, nice to see you, nice to meet you. I'm joining you from Senior Planet San Antonio. And as Nicole said, yes, we're going to be talking about and maybe hopefully answering a lot of the questions that came into the chat room about sites, websites, and apps that you can go to for online dating. Websites and apps actually that are geared a lot more towards older adults. So there is a handout involved also that we're going to put a link to in the chat room. I'm going to share my screen really fast and show you what the handout looks like. It's just a one-page PDF file, and it has a list of some of the popular sites and apps that we're going to be talking about today briefly. We'll show you just sort of a brief overview of each one. And it has some bullet point references to what we're going to be talking about in this portion of today's presentation. So the handout link will be in the chat room for you to open up on your own device or print, whatever you like. And it has, excuse me, all the website links of the sites that we're going to be talking about today. So let me make just a minor adjustment here on my computer screen. So online dating over 50. What I want to mention first before we continue on is basically, we're just going to give you sort of an overview. We have about 30 minutes left, so I'm glad that you're sticking around. We're going to talk about what is online dating in a nutshell, suggestions for sites and apps for older adults. We'll go over some best practices and most importantly, some tech tips to incorporate into your online dating journey. A lot of the same tech tips that you would follow along when you are maybe purchasing something online, like from Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace. So you may have heard of some of these tips, but this can definitely be applied to your online dating journey as well. Okay, so let's go over some online dating basics. We do want to mention that you have to realize that people use these kinds of dating and networking sites and apps for a variety of reasons. Sometimes it's just to look for maybe some companionship, maybe just some friendship, right? Some people use them to look for love and serious committed relationships. Some of the people that you might meet on some of these sites and apps might be people who have been divorced, separated, widowed, maybe they've never been married before. And so it's a good idea to explore several of the apps and websites that are out there because there are several that you can choose from to see which one is the best fit for your individual needs, okay? But why use a site or app, you might be wondering, you know? Well, believe it or not, online dating has been around for about 30 years. So it's not a bad idea to use something that an online service like this that's been around for quite some time. Match.com was one of the first sites launched in 1995. So online dating has been around for quite some time. It uses what are called algorithms to help match people. Algorithms, you can think of that as like some kind of scientific calculation that takes all of what you input into that app or website and matches it with somebody who has very compatible details on their profile. So there's a lot of intricacies involved in the algorithms that these sites use, but they do help provide for a better match. And it also creates a more easier way to search a large population for somebody that is compatible with you. Another good reason to use a site or an app is because you have control over who or how you want to be presented, right? Joan talked about creating a profile and a good bio and things like that. So you have all of that control on how you want to be presented, and you can control who you choose to meet as well. From that larger pool of people to choose from on a site or app. And then with all of that, that makes a better potential to find that compatible match. So there's a lot that goes into it to find that compatible match. And that's why a lot of people go to sites and apps for online dating. Now, let's talk about some of the popular sites and apps that are out there. Here is a list on your screen that you'll see of a few different sites and apps. These are the most popular sites that are primarily for older adults, but not exclusively. So we'll go over each one, and these are the sites that are found and listed on the handout that we shared with you in the chat room. So first and foremost, we have Stitch.com. Let me take you to the Stitch.com website. And this one I really liked because it had some really nice features. I want to let you know that most of these websites that we're going to show you are all kind of very much designed the same way. So they're very easy to navigate through. If you're ever concerned about learning more about Stitch or Elite Singles or any of the other sites we're going to show you, oftentimes what I just do is when I'm on a new website I've never navigated through, I just kind of scroll slowly through all of the different tab fields you can click on. You can read the blog that is included here. You can read click on About Us and see and read more about Stitch. But here, Stitch calls itself a sort of like a community site, world's largest companionship community created by members for members. So this is a site where you can go to find different types of connections, relationships, friendships, or just be part of the Stitch community. So video you can watch. There's something about safety. You can click on the definitive guide to staying safe online. So it has a lot of helpful tools to reassure your safety and privacy concerns. There's even an option to meet people virtually. If you're somebody, who maybe lives in a remote area, small community, or you face challenges that makes it difficult to leave your house and attend activities. Well, Stitch has an option to meet people virtually as well. So you can learn more about that there. And as with most, and then of course, all these sites that we're going to talk about do have an app available from either the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. What I was going to say is I just scroll through, you can read some testimonials, watch some videos of actual members. Most of these sites usually have lots of information if you just scroll all the way to the bottom if you want to find out more about that organization or company. All right. The next one is Elite. And as I scroll through that one, you'll see it's very much designed similar to some of the other ones that we're going to share with you today. Now, but with Elite, it's not so much exclusive to older adults, but it is marketed toward professional, mature adults. So you don't necessarily need to be 50 or 60 to join this one. You could be maybe, I think 30 is the age limit. I'm not sure. And so this one is online dating for people who want to meet other people who are professionals, not so much younger adults, but, maybe middle-aged and older. But you'll see, you can read success stories. You can, there's expert advice on creating a good profile from Elite Singles. Elite Magazine, Singles Magazine is a feature I liked from this website because they have articles on online dating tips. A lot of the tips that Joan shared with us today, I found if you click here, you'll find a lot of those same online dating tips for first dates as well. Keeping it short, public, and daytime, all that stuff is we're going to be talking about today. So this is a nice feature of Elite. If that's a website you're looking into, the Elite Singles Magazine feature is pretty cool. Customer service section that you can access and speak to somebody, discretion and security, read more about that. And again, just lots of different areas that you can click on. Also available as an app. And at the very bottom, you can read about their privacy policy, terms and conditions, and other things. All right, the next one on the list on your handout is Our Time. And let me just say, there's some information on the handout that talks about whether these are free. So this is another screenshot of the handout. Stitch.com, Elite Singles, and now we're talking about Our Time. These are free, but there is usually limited features with the basic free account. So you can unlock other features if you pay the $7 a month for the full Stitch.net services that they offer. Cost varies for the premium version of Elite, but the basic version is free, and so on and so forth. There are some paid features on Our Time, but it's mostly free to use. And there will be a one-time payment on Silver Singles, but the basic version is free. So you can definitely get started and start exploring without having to commit to any kind of subscription. All right, so we were talking about Our Time. Note that some of these websites will let you know that they use cookies just to make the website work a little bit better. You can accept them and then delete your clean up your computer afterwards, or go to your settings, and oftentimes the notification for cookies will give you options, to select certain cookies and not third party and this and that. So do your due diligence and when that time comes, if you're visiting these sites for the first time. But basically, for Our Time, you can find out more by clicking on some of the links at the very bottom. That doesn't really show you a whole lot until you fill out this short form and click on View Singles or create an account and sign in. But yes, 50 our time is for folks 50 and older. It's exclusively for 50 and older, just like Silver Singles here. Now, Silver Singles also has a lot of great features, but here you also see where you can start entering some information to either sign up or view other members. There is a step-by-step process to create and sign up for your account. You would take a personality test first, and then step 2 would be the matchmaking, and then step 3 would be meeting your potential matches. So when you click on the Sign Me Up button you see in the upper right-hand corner, it'll take you through those steps. So you can just scroll through and see some of the different areas of this website. You can look at other members, the creating a dating profile. There's more advice on creating a good dating profile, just like we saw on Stitch, I think it was. So a lot of these sites will have helpful information to sort of guide you if you're a first timer, if you are using these online dating sites for the first time. So there's more information about security and how it is their priority, again, available through the App Store and Google Play Store, meaning that you can use it on either Android phones or iPhones, or through a web browser like I'm showing you right now. Okay, and then we included Meetup at the very end of that handout. It's not necessarily not exclusive to older adults for dating, but it is a place you can create a free account and join groups and perhaps even meet up with some of these groups in public places. There are a lot of great groups and a lot of events that you can attend. We actually even have a workshop and a lecture, I believe, on Meetup that you can take. Just go to our seniorplanet.org website, go up to upcoming online classes, and you might see the Meetup class that we offer show up on the calendar list. It goes into a lot more detail than what I can go into right now, but Meetup is a place where you can attend events. You can join groups that get together maybe once a week to go for a walk and do different activities. And so if you're somebody who's not ready to maybe dive right into the online dating world, might be a good place to start, where you'll at least meet new people, right? And groups of people, and go from there. Okay, so let's go back to our slide presentation. We just wanted to give you a quick overview of some of the or of the more popular sites and apps that are listed on the handout that you get to keep. Now, how to present yourself online. A lot of this was discussed in Joan's presentation. You want to first, of course, select a service or an app. So either one of the websites or the app version of one of the websites we showed you, or any of the other ones that are out there that you might find. Select the one that works best for you. Remember, there are so many so that you can choose which one meets your needs, right? And you then definitely want to declare your intentions. And oftentimes, some of these apps and sites will ask you, are you here to find love? Are you here for friendship? If you get those kinds of questions, you want to declare your intentions, whether you're wanting friendship, you're just wanting maybe to socialize with another person, or you're looking for romance and something more significant. You want to be upfront about, what you're looking for, because honesty, as we were saying earlier, as Joan was saying earlier, is the best policy. Post a recent picture. Sometimes, as it was mentioned, there might be a picture of someone, 30 years ago, and it's not very representative of, who you are today, right? So you definitely want to post a recent picture. And say something interesting about yourself when you're creating your bio or, your headline and things like that. As Joan mentioned, people might just zoom right past you if they don't, if what you wrote about yourself doesn't really catch their eye. So you want to think about that. And in a little while, we're going to demonstrate how you can use an AI service to help you create a good bio. I tried this already myself, and not that I'm happily married, but just as a test. And we're going to take you to Gemini, which is Google's AI service, and we'll show you how you can utilize that tool to create a nice bio or profile about you, if you will. Now, when it's time to meet, here are some things that you want to remember. Read the profiles and keep it to chatting until you feel comfortable enough to meet up with someone in person. So you might have, a paper trail of texts, maybe, or emails, maybe not text, but because it's also a good idea to chat with that person through the site that you're using or the app. You know, there's usually a messenger type of service within that website or app when you create an account and sign up, and you can communicate with them that way. So you might have a long line of communication before you actually meet for the first time, and that's always good. Um, you know, if you ever so chat until you both agree it's time to meet. But if you see a lot of excuses being made from the other party when it comes to meeting face to face, that could be a red flag. Look out for stuff like that, and maybe just move on if you sense something is not correctly, not very right. So stalling, making excuses to meet up with you could mean that they're not really who they are and who they say they are on that app or website. But keep it to a chatting relationship or a chatting interaction before you meet for the first time. Now, when you both do agree to a type of meeting, the first meeting should be in a public place, but keep it relatively short. Now, lunch may not be a good idea because lunch may take a lot longer than you're willing to stay with the person if it's not going too well, like John was mentioning. Maybe meet up for coffee or tea right before the establishment is going to close. I think that's a great idea because it gives both of you an excuse, right, to cut the date short if need be. So you could do lunch if you feel after several chats that you shared with this person, if you feel comfortable enough to have a lunch, maybe, but keep it a short lunch, a light lunch, maybe to an hour long or something. Or maybe take the same advice Joan said when meeting for coffee and go to an eatery that's about to close an hour before. And they'll still seat you and feed you, but you'll have to leave soon enough. All right, so definitely the takeaway from this is to chat a lot with the person first before you meet for the first time. And when you do meet for the first time, keep it short. All right. There were some good suggestions Joan made about making it a virtual date for the first date. And that's something I never thought about. So yeah, that's a really good idea. Just take those practices and keeping, your privacy and all that secure when doing that. Now, speaking of best practices for meeting in person, we're going to go down the list here. You definitely want to keep it to a daytime, stay sober. You definitely don't want to get too tipsy and, because inhibition goes out the window sometimes. So definitely stay sober. You also want to be safe, right? Keep it to the daytime. Keep personal items close. If you take any personal items with you on that first date, purses, what have you, keep personal items close. Choose a public area to meet, maybe a park or a restaurant or some kind, coffee shop. I don't know, maybe even a bookstore or something. Use your own transportation. That's always important. You never want to agree to get picked up by the other person or offer to pick them up. You should both probably drive your own vehicle and follow the other few rules we've gone over so far. Keep your address private. Even keeping your phone private, your phone number private, and just communicating through the app or the website is a better idea until you get more comfortable with this person and get to know them better. But also keep your address private, so never meet them at your home or invite them to your home for that first date. And go separate ways after the meeting. Since you're both going to be in your own transportation, that would be easy to do. If, as Joan said, if it is somebody that you are, hitting it off with, and maybe once that coffee shop closes, you can agree to take a walk or something like that. You can continue the date for a little bit longer. But once it's done, just definitely go your separate ways after meeting up. And if it's not going so well, maybe have an exit plan. In doing so, you can maybe let someone know who you are going to meet and maybe check in afterwards. Consider sharing your location with a friend. Okay, and then we'll show you some ways on how you can share your location on this next slide. But definitely have some kind of exit plan if things aren't going so well. And remember the telltale signs of a scam, before meeting for the first time. You might see things like the other person playing on your emotions or maybe creating a sense of urgency that they really need to meet you because you're they know that you're the right person for them or something. Yeah, just be wary of things like that when you're searching for that perfect someone. Okay. Now, when it comes to do's and don'ts, did I skip okay. When it comes to do's and don'ts, there's a couple of lists of a do list and a don't list. So you definitely do want to read the person's profile. As I mentioned just a little while ago, you want to start a chatting conversation with them via the app or website that you're using, preferably before you exchange phone numbers and things like that. Ask questions and show interest. You definitely want to do that. Asking questions can get a lot more information out of that person and can help with you getting to know them better and quicker. Third point there, I just mentioned communicate via the site or the app that you're using that you met this person, where the match was made, if you will. Keep personal information private until you're comfortable sharing, again, like your phone number, address, other things, maybe even where you work, I would say, be a good idea to not mention that so soon. Block or report any suspected abuser of the app or the site policies. So as I was kind of slowly going through the app or the websites we just showed you a little while ago, you can always go to the bottom of those websites to find more about their terms and conditions, their policy, privacy policies, and other things. So get to know that site or app. And if you notice that there's any, you suspect any abuse to those rules, then definitely report that person. You don't want to ever accept unsolicited invitations. If somebody on that app or website is, sending you messages, beautiful woman ready for you, or something like that, or, you get messages from somebody called Love Swan, I don't know. Don't respond to those kinds of unsolicited invitations. I noticed in the chat room, a lot of you have had some, not so good experiences on there, and hopefully these do's and don'ts will help you, will help that improve. And don't fall for scams asking for money. I remember hearing Joan mention that as well. Definitely do not fall for those types of scams. Now, remember, the telltale signs for scams are usually messages and alerts and things like that that play on your emotions and create a sense of urgency, just like when we talk about phishing emails and things like that. Follow those same rules to spot those red flags. Tech tips for online dating. Use AI to draft your profile. I'm going to show you how to use Google Gemini. You can also use ChatGPT or Microsoft Copilot. These are all AI chat services that where you can send in input prompts and questions, and they'll, do their thing. All right. So I'm going to show you how to do that here. Share your location, as I mentioned earlier. Definitely. There are a couple of links we're going to put in the chat room where that show you links to tech tip videos that show you how to set up an AirTag. And if you don't know what an AirTag is, it's a little device by a little product from Apple. AirTags are usually connected to your phone through an app, and you can put those inside luggage or purses and things like that to keep track. And so there's a way to share that information of that AirTag with others. So that's a good idea. You can also share your location through other platforms like Google Maps, iMessage, WhatsApp, etc. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, and I think we're going to put the AirTag tech tip video links into the chat room. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to gemini.google.com. I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste the link to this website. I'm already signed into my Gmail account on this computer that I'm on. And so that's why when I go to gemini.google.com, it already recognized me. I see my Gmail profile picture in the upper right-hand corner, and it says, "Hello, Johnny, how can I help you?" So let me stop sharing really quick. Or actually, I think I can. Yeah, let me stop sharing really quick, and then I'm going to come back to Gemini because I already typed out sort of a prompt to help to have Gemini help me create a profile for an online dating site. So let me access that really quick, and then I'll go back to sharing my screen. And here we go. So I put together, some of it's true about me, not all of it, just to give the AI service a sense of what I want to be included in this profile or in this bio that I'm trying to draft out. So you're not creating this profile for any particular site. You're just creating a draft that you can then copy and paste later into a one of the apps or websites that you're going to be using. So let me share my screen again. All right, so Gemini is real easy to use. Just again, go to gemini.google.com and you'll see at the bottom where it says enter prompt here. I'm gonna paste what I typed in earlier. So I typed in, I am an older adult male, age 65, recently widowed, and I live with 3 dogs and 2 cats. I love animals, listening to live music in small, intimate venues, and I love to take slow rides on my bike through quiet neighborhoods. I live in San Antonio, Texas, and I would like to create an online dating bio to use on an online dating app for people over the age of 60. Can you help me with that? I'm asking Gemini. So I've entered my prompt. I'm going to click on the little paper airplane to submit. And in seconds, you're going to see a response. Absolutely, he says. You can also listen. I think there's usually a speaker button. I think my Zoom control panel is covering it, but you can also listen or just read what Gemini offers you. Says here, absolutely, here's a draft bio you can use for a dating app profile. So Gemini created a headline, which is optional to use, widower with a zest for life and fur, seeking kind companion for adventures. Now, I didn't even put anything in there to show humor or anything, but I'm glad that they did because I like to share humor sometimes. So here's my about me. It says 65-year-old San Antonio man who enjoys the company of my furry friends, 3 dogs and 2 cats, the soulful sounds of live music in intimate settings, and exploring hidden corners of my city on leisurely bike rides. So AI can really help you put things into words. And as Joan was mentioning, it's best to include and be honest of, what you like to do, the type of person you are, or as honest as you want to be, as best as you want to represent yourself. Then here it says another option. Recently widowed, I'm looking for a kind and compassionate partner to create new memories with. Whether it's discovering hidden gems on 2 wheels, catching a local band at a cozy venue, or simply enjoying quiet enough evenings at home. I'm up for anything as long as I'm in good company. And then they even suggested a looking for option. So all of this was just given to me, right? Created for me by that one simple paragraph prompt that I entered. Someone who appreciates the simple pleasures in life and enjoys the companionship of a good friend. So then it'll also give you some tips as well. Highlight your best assets, be positive and upbeat. So it gives you tips on what you can do and change. So when you're ready, you can copy and paste and take in all this information and advice and use that as your bio. If you're finding it to be difficult or, to create that on your own. All right, so I think that we are right at time. I want to thank everybody for joining us. I want to again thank Joan Price for her wonderful presentation. And remember, we have put links in the chat room for our survey. We put links in the chat room for the follow-up session, which is going to be next week on our Lunch and Learn Wellness Wednesday. I see a lot of my Lunch and Learn students here. So do join us then, and we'll continue the discussion and hopefully answer some of the questions that maybe we weren't able to get to today. But other than that, thank you so much, folks. I hope that you enjoyed this last 30-minute presentation. I know it's maybe kind of quick, but you have the handout. So you have some sites you can look at and explore and see if those fit your needs for any of you who are looking to embark on that journey. Thanks so much, folks. Enjoy the rest of your day. Come back and see us.